So, with Season 7 around the corner for Shinobi Striker, and we already know that the theme is going to be Menace, it's time for me to get my DLC concepts in. And the character we're going to be talking about today is definitely going to be the one that fits the theme of Menace. So, that's going to lead us into our anime question for today. Who also is on your wish list for Menace? What character in Naruto do you think fits that role of Menace the most? But yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. We're going to be doing our DLC concept for none other than one of my predictions, Jugo. So, let me know in the comments if you're a fan of Jugo as well, or if you're not really too much feeling him as a DLC. But if this is something you think you might be interested in, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell, do all those nice things, and let's just go ahead and hop straight into this concept. So, like always, remember to comment down any other characters that you want to see me do DLC concepts over. I know y'all been asking for the man Momoshiki, even though y'all know we don't like him. So we will do a DLC concept over Momoshiki separate for Boruto, since they are different characters, and we will actually evaluate what he can bring to the game. But when we talk about Jugo, so some things to know. Of course, we know that Jugo can communicate with animals, but I don't really think this is going to play a role as far as things go with Shinobi Striker. We also know that he can transfer his Senjutsu chakra to other people to be able to heal them and things like that. But this also has a negative effect on his body, but I don't think this will be implemented either. Now, some of the chakra natures that Jugo has, we know that he has Earth, Water, Wind, and Yang release. Of course, he has Sage Jutsu. But some things when we looked at the Storm moveset for Jugo, I don't know what it was. I didn't really play Storm 4 like that, but the way that his jutsus looked, it didn't really look that fun. So I'm not really going to be including any of his Storm jutsus because they honestly just don't really seem that cool. So when we get into some of the rewards that we'll get with Jugo, of course we're going to get a character unlock, a Shinobi boost. I think we'll get Jugo's outfit, which is, you know, his normal outfit that he wears, which is like with the little journeyman cape that he has on, the little battered cape, which I don't see anybody wearing, but hey, I'm always take new content, new things to wear. I also think that we'll get a new weapon, which is going to be the Sage Transformation Fist. Now, the way this would work, I feel like this would be pretty similar to the Carapace, but I think they would actually get this right and make it where your fist changes into, like, you know, similar to how Jugo's moveset is whenever you're actually fighting, which I think would be pretty cool. You know, if your hand can change into like a hammer or like maybe into like one of the little blade things that he has. I feel like it'd be pretty cool, especially with the heavy strike, if you can like smash down with the hammer or something like that. That'd be pretty cool, because I feel like they dropped the ball with the Carapace, not giving us Kawaki's blade that he has. Another thing that I feel like we can get, I feel like we'd also get Jugo's hair. Now, they could give us the Naruto or Boruto version. I think they could probably just give them both of the hair styles, since I think both of these would be pretty cool. I think we'll get Jugo's curse mark, but it's not going to be the full body curse mark. I feel like this would only be like whenever he's fighting off the transformation, and it's only covering half of his face. I feel like this would be the one that's the most likely for them to implement. And then, of course, I think the honorary title that we get for this would be Maniac, because we all knew whenever Jugo transformed into that other form, he was a maniac. So we get into some of the jutsus. The first one's going to be the Sage Art Transformation Arms. And the way this works, the user utilizes Sage Transformation Jutsu to change the arm into an axe-like weapon, giving access to additional strikes. Additional input on the D-pad will shift transformation between axe, piston, and shield. So this will work pretty similar to Shirato and also Amino Manaka, but this will be like a normal jutsu. So when you activate it, first the axe comes out, and if you press on the left or right to the D-pad, you can maybe change to the shield or change to the piston fist, with the piston fist kind of acting a little bit similar to the single finger thrust, but, you know, not as much armor, but you know where Jugo does his little thruster punch. This would be pretty cool. This would need to be balanced, though, since attack types are already so powerful, so maybe the activation for this jutsu wouldn't be that long, or the cooldown would need to be longer, since there's so much variety in what you'd be able to do with this jutsu. But that's one of the things that made Jugo so difficult to deal with, is that he was pretty much able to deal with any situation besides maybe fighting an aerial opponent and flying, but maybe then he could even use his jet boosters to get up into the air. Move over to the next jutsu. That's going to be Sage Art Transformation Chain. And this works as the user uses Sage Transformation to extend their arm toward an opponent. Successfully reaching an opponent will pull the opponent in towards the user, following up with a slam. So this is going to work similar to like straight snake thrust and also snake pull, where you pull them in. But with the way this would work is that whenever you actually pull them in, you'd hit them with a strike, like slamming them on the ground. Now, the way that they'd have to balance this, because you wouldn't want attack types to just have crazy range with this. I feel like this would be more so of a close range strike, maybe a little bit similar to Octo Hug's distance, but what would make you want to use this over Octo Hug is the fact that you slam your opponent to the ground, and maybe this slam causes them to, like, you know, maybe bounce back up where you can continue with the combo or something like that. This would maybe, you know, require a different mechanic, but I think that's how this would work. The range wouldn't be too far where it overcomes other jutsus that, you know, could be useful to use. And I think this would be unblockable. So this would be very well good with, you know, pairing it up and comboing it with things. And so far, as you've seen, none of Jugo's abilities have really had any debuffs. And that's because I feel like, you know, these things are already going to have high power and high strength. And we move over to the last thing is going to be the secret technique. It's going to be the full Sage transformation. The way this works is the user completes the full Sage transformation. In this state, the user is armored and has their defense increased. In addition, users have access to additional strike, piston, booster, punch. Additional input on the D-pad will release multiple Lotus non-self-connected cannons. Using this technique reduces defense after activation. So, the way that this works is, you remember whenever he was fighting the Raikage and the Raikage punched him into the wall, and then he was able to fire off the big beam to try to counter-strike. That's what this, you know, up on the D-pad would be. But when you activate this will reduce your defense, which would kind of simulate how Jugo turns into his smaller, you know, more defenseless form whenever he's using these extremely powerful jutsus, which I think would be pretty cool for Jugo. And this transformation would be a little bit different from Sage Mode, because it might seem similar to Sage Mode, but you're not having that movement speed increase, and also you're not having the healing. So you might have the defense increase, but you're not getting healing while you're in this state. This is more so going to be like a last ditch, deal out a whole bunch of damage and, you know, just go crazy. And then, of course, the additional input of the piston punch would basically be similar to the single finger thrust, and also the move that you would get from the transformation fist. But honestly, this is my Jugo DLC concept. I tried to move things around and spice it up a little bit so it could actually be a little bit more enticing. But let me know in the comments if Bandai decided to bring Jugo in this way that I just presented him to y'all. Would y'all be interested in actually trying out this DLC and taking this DLC as part of Season 7? And let me know in the comments what you like and what you don't like about my boy Jugo. But hey, I appreciate y'all for tuning into this video, and make sure to comment down any other DLC concepts that you want to see, and I'm gonna see you on the next one, man. We out.